So I just got back home from work. I'm all covered in concrete, but I just had to go ahead and rush home to put this video together for you guys about my new ultra wide setup. Let me flip the camera around. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, I guess I'm probably gonna have to blur this because part of the video is me figuring out how I'm gonna set up my new ultra wide setup. So I wouldn't want to give away any spoilers. So yeah, let's just get into the video. So I ended up getting this ultra-wide monitor for free from my Pookie Wookie Bear's father, Larry. If you don't know who my Pookie Wookie Bear is, you've seen him on clips from the channel before. Script says show clips, so show them clips.
Hey. Okay, I work at Kohl's, y'all, by the way. No, actually, no, I work at Sephora. So, this girl tried to steal like a buttload of stuff.
Yeah.
Drop the planning.
No, we're on defense, Boober. That's a good
thing.
So my setup went from this, a 1080p monitor and a 1360 by 768 monitor right next to each other, to this, the ultra wide screen you see before you right now. When I looked up the model number, this is the monitor that came up. So I thought I had this many by this many pixels to work with, meaning I plan to replace my 2-monitor setup with a single monitor setup that looked like this. Turns out the model I actually got was this many pixels by this many pixels. So my setup ended looking like this. So I wouldn't be able to have a 1080p game window without it being blocked by the taskbar because the little bit at the top pushes it down. I don't know if I got footage of this, but on some games I was able to kind of like, if I whip the mouse around and then clicked, I could actually click out of the window and open something. So in a game where I'm getting stressed, like a shooter or whatever, I could end up doing that, so this was not optimal. Also, I'd have this badass ultra-wide monitor, and in order to see the whole game, I'd have to be playing on 1600 by 900 pixels, which is less than 1920 by 1080. So massive upgrade, but then massive downgrade? No. But then, if I wanted to actually play the game in ultra-wide, get some ultra-wide footage, I wouldn't even be able to see OBS, or if I was streaming, I wouldn't be able to see Twitch, yada yada yada. So I knew I would have to have, on top of the ultra-wide, I would also have to have a second monitor. Side note, I saw on Witchfire that you can limit the aspect ratio of your HUD. So if you want, you can play an ultra-wide and then just screen capture, showing only the 16 by 9 middle portion, and then it still looks like normal gameplay because your HUD is still where it's supposed to be instead of like a foot off to the side where your stream watchers or people watching your video won't be able to see the HUD. So yeah, check if whatever game you're playing on ultra-wide has that nice nifty little feature of a HUD aspect ratio. Side note, if your base canvas on OBS is 1080p, the regular 16 by 9, and you still want your audience to be able to see the whole ultra-wide gameplay, you can right-click on it, press Fit to Screen, and then you'll have the black bars on top and bottom, but they'll be able to see everything you see. And I mean everything, big boy. So yeah, now my setup went from, well, you already saw the clip, but roll the clip again. My setup went from this, the one ultra-wide monitor, to this, the ultra-wide with the 1080p screen. The first game I played to test out this, my third setup? The first game I played after the first initial change to the setup, which was the ultra-wide, ended up being the RPG. Aside from the opening cutscene making it switch back to regular resolution for some reason, it seemed to look pretty good and function pretty fine on ultra-wide. Now the only problem I have left to solve is how to make so that my mic stand and microphone doesn't cover up the second screen. I mean, it's kind of fine because just for like quick looking at chat, make sure OBS is running, get my warm and fuzzies looking at my broadcast monitor, but it would still be nice to have a microphone solution that didn't block like half of my second monitor. I think that pretty much about does it for my thoughts on the ultra-wide monitor situation. So here's a little sneak peek of what I captured for my next gaming videos. I'll use the footage that I got messing with the ultra-wide setup. I'll be doing another video with that footage on Witchfire. first and so far only episode of Eat, early access titles that I've made, but soon Trench Tales should be coming to Eat. So there you go, look forward to that. Witchfire seems to have a lot of new stuff. Like, if I remember correctly, the tutorial was different when I was playing through. You can pick what weapons you want to research instead of just what kind of weapon you want to research. The RPG. It's a little silly, but I kind of think it's a fun kind of silly. I'm not super into the Skyrim games or the Dark Souls games or whatever, and to be honest, some of the references were kind of like a Skyrim joke reference is a little dated, you know, a little arrow to the knee type, you know what I'm saying? Regardless, from the limited time I was able to spend in the demo, it only lets you get 45 minutes. I beat the first boss, so I got an extra 15 minutes. So from what I can tell from that, it seemed pretty fun, creative. It's got a mushroom gun. Yeah, I think that'll be a very enjoyable demo video to put out for you guys. So until next time, bye bye.